Hey everybody, I'm Thaddeus from PrimalHacker and The Point Retreats, and today I'm going to talk about working from home. Many of us, in fact most of us, are probably working from home right now, me included. I have 11 years experience working from home, so I have spent the last 11 years of my life working from this desk right here after spending 10 years in corporate America working in factories, pharmaceutical plants, power plants, and corporate headquarters. After that, I took the next 11 years and have been working from home, so I've developed a set of routines and tips and tricks to help you work from home more effectively. Number one, it may sound obvious, but you have to wear pants. Otherwise, people are going to ask, eventually they're going to ask you if you're wearing pants. And I think it's a great idea to wear pants. Yes, you have to dress for success. Many people don't think about this. They just roll out of bed and wear whatever they're wearing. However, there's two important points with actually getting dressed for work. You don't have to put on a suit and tie. You may want to just put on a hoodie if it's cold in your house, but wear clothes that you would be comfortable going out in and being seen in. And that is really important for, number one, your mental headspace, to be prepared to be at work and get things done. It actually makes a big difference, trust me. All right, and number two, in this day and age, everybody has cameras, and they're often, and especially on my team, we ask people to get on camera. We're not congregating in public spaces and at work together like we normally do, which means it's very beneficial to see each other. And trust me, when everyone starts turning on their cameras, you don't want to be the person wearing your pajamas with your hair all messed up. So get ready for work, get dressed, and it will help you be more productive. Number two, have a consistent routine. Very important, because when you're working out of the house, you have a consistent routine. You have to be at work at a certain time, you have to get up in the morning and shower, whatever it is that you do. But when you're home, we can fall out of routines, and it makes us far, far less productive. Trust me. It can take a little while to build a routine, but set up a routine to set yourself up for optimum work habits and success. It makes a huge difference to your day to have a morning routine. I'm going to walk you through my morning routine, but you've got to come up with your own. First of all, I'm going to sit in my bed and I'm going to meditate first thing when I wake up. And then I tell my partner, who's behind the camera here, what I appreciate about her, and we exchange those appreciations, gratitude. That's about 5 or 10 minutes. Next, I am going to go into the red light room, because in my day, I'm usually up before the sun until it hits summer here. So I want red light that helps heal our body. Lots of benefits, but this is my morning routine, so come on in. So this is the red light room. So I'm going to spend 8 minutes to 10 minutes in here. I'm going to go through some Qigong practice and utilize all this healing red light. All right, so let me turn this off. After the red light room, I get some tea. So we're going to come into the kitchen. And I'm going to get myself a little cup of tea. I never, if possible, do coffee first thing in the morning. It really increases cortisol, can give you some anxiety, some stress. So I recommend some green tea. You get that L-theanine in there, some plant compounds, a little bit of caffeine, but it's neutralized by the L-theanine. So I'm going to get some tea. I'm going to go to my desk, and I'm going to start my work day from there. And I'm going to show you some really specific things that happen at my desk. So back here at my desk with my cup of tea, I've got red lights on. So typically this is before the sun rises. So I want to start my workday, and unfortunately my workday starts typically before the sun rises during the fall, spring, and winter. So I've got red lights on here to mitigate the effect of the blue light coming off the screen. So we're going to talk about light at the middle section of this. So I've got the red light on. I'm going to check my email, check in with my team, figure out what my schedule is for the day. So I'm going to look at my day, figure out my schedule so I know what I have to do when, which meetings I have coming up, and focus on the number one priorities that I have for my day. I'm going to do that for anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour and a half when the sun rises. So whatever time dawn is, which changes at all times of the year, my next step is to get outside. Okay, everybody, come on outside. This is really, really important. Maybe the number one tip. Now, the benefit, the huge benefit, one of them that I think is so important, most people don't even think about this. When you are home and you're not in the corporate office, working from home allows you to do things that can massively, massively improve your health. So at the office, it's not so easy to just get outside at any time of the day and get natural light. At dawn, it is really, I can't stress this enough, really important for you to get outside. So at dawn, you are allowed at home to break away from your desk and your computer or whatever it is you're doing and walk outside. I will go outside during my morning routine as close to dawn as possible, and I will get my body and my eyes into the sun. No sunglasses, no contacts, and no glasses. That's important because you want that sunlight directly into your eyes and as much on your skin as you can in the morning. There's no ultraviolet light in the morning, so if you're worried about ultraviolet light, you don't have to be at dawn and within about an hour from dawn. And so I get outside and I'll let the sunlight kind of filter into my skin and my eyes, and I'll either do a little bit of a workout, so some jumping jacks and some push-ups and some pull-ups out here in the yard, and I'll get about 5 minutes. That's about the minimum that you need, and then I'll come back in and start my work for the rest of the day. But you are at home. Get outside. There's no healthier place for you to be than outdoors in nature, and you can do this many times throughout the day, and I think it's just so important. It is the number one thing in my morning routine that I never ever miss is getting outside at as close to sunrise as possible, usually right at sunrise. Take advantage of that, do it for 2 weeks, and just notice how you feel from doing that. Now, one of the very important things that you can do at home, now this is kind of ridiculous, it's April 4th and there's snow on the ground. It was 18 degrees this morning, but luckily it's warming up. So one of the most important things you can do at home that's really hard to do at work is grounding. We are insulating ourselves when we're living in these little boxes, wearing rubber-soled shoes, driving around in rubber car tires in our little boxes that move everywhere. All that insulates us. We build up positive charge in our body. We need to get negative charge, and that positive charge is inflammation. We obtain negative charge from the earth, and it's so important for us to do that. Those are free electrons that massively benefit your health, just like the sun. These are things that we constantly miss, but guess what? You're working from home, you can get your shoes off, and you can spend your 5 minutes in the morning having the sun on your body and getting in your eyes, and this is called earthing or grounding. You can look up as many YouTube videos and studies as you want. Huge benefits to grounding. You can do this now that you're at home.
What about your pants? Should you have those on?
When you're outside in the sun, you should have as few clothes on as possible. And you'll notice if you go to our YouTube channel or our Instagram channel on PrimalHacker that oftentimes we wear tan-through shorts or tan-through bikinis if you're a woman outdoors so that we get sun everywhere. It is super, super important. So normally I would have as few clothes on as possible in the sun in the morning to get all that beneficial information from the sun. I recommend you at least start out by going barefoot and getting yourself outdoors at sunrise at dawn for about 5 minutes a day. Try it for 2 weeks. So now we get to talk about light, one of my favorite subjects. Do not recreate your office environment at home when it comes to lighting. I beg you. Fluorescent lighting, LED lighting in the office place are damaging to your health. I'm sorry, there's no other way to state that. They harm your health. There's a flicker rate from the LEDs. There's a flicker rate from the fluorescent tubes. Those can cause migraines in many people. So you see a lot of people getting migraines. Get them out of the fluorescent lights. So this is all about recreating a natural environment. Your home. Get rid of the awful lighting at work. Implement a lighting strategy that is going to build optimal health for you. You've got to take care of this. It's so, so, so important. Number one, you can see what's on here, and we showed you this earlier. You see these red lights? You can see them on my hand. That's covering my screen. You may also notice that my screen is tinted. I'm going to show you a little trick here in a second with my screen. You can put filters on your screens. Those screens are LEDs, and they create a ton of blue wavelength of light that gets into your eyes and can cause harm, especially when you're staring at it all day long, and even more important when it's after dark. I'm going to give you some strategies to fix that. The other thing is you can use incandescent or halogen lighting. So I wanted to say compact fluorescent. Don't use those. Incandescent or halogen lighting overhead more mimics sunlight, has almost no flicker rate, which means that flicker, you may not perceive the flicker of some of these LEDs. Often we perceive it in fluorescent lights. You can hear them hum, that whirr. That's super bad for you. Okay, we don't often perceive it in LED, that flicker, but it does harm health, and there's many papers. Go to PubMed, Google PubMed, and then look up flicker, look up LED flicker, and look at how it impacts human health. It really is a big deal, and we don't want to recreate and mimic that at home. So, let me show you what I do to my screens. Now, the other thing you see behind me, look at this. This is my office and my partner's office, Heidi. There's lots of natural lights. Now, here's the other thing that I want you to do. Get as much natural light and as little artificial light as possible and open this up. Now, there was snow here earlier today. As you can see, there's still some snow out there. It's a little cold, but I'm going to do as much natural light as humanly possible. So during the day, I'm going to have these windows open as much as I can. That is the light that nature has designed you to be in. When you try to mimic that with man-made artificial light, it's not always beneficial. I'm going to show you some things on your laptop that you can do to have more appropriate lighting. Super simple and easy. All right, we're looking at my laptop here, and you'll notice right down here, this is a program called Iris. And I can go into the settings, and I'm going to show you what it looks like here. So I'm going to hit settings. This is the Iris program. We can mess around with it. What I'm going to do is show you what it looks like when it's off. So I'm going to pause it. You can see how much brighter that is. And that's the blue wavelength of light that we want to avoid. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to unpause it. And this is the health setting. This is what I use during the day. It filters out some, but not all of the blue light. Now, after dark or before the sun rises, if I'm working in the morning, I put it on the sleep mode. Now, you're not going to be able to do color rendering work if you're a graphic artist, but this is way more beneficial for your eyes so you don't destroy your melatonin, a key hormone of sleep. This is a program, it's called Iris. You can find it at iristech.co. It is super inexpensive. You can even go to a reading mode. Here's what the reading mode looks like. It's kind of just black and white. And there's no blue light coming out of there. You can go to a Biohacker mode, which is super intense red. They dial out literally all the blue. If there's blue things on the screen, like right here, you can't see them. So that's kind of an issue for some people. And I tend to just keep it in the sleep mode when it's after dark and in the health mode. There's other apps. One of them is called Flux, f.lux. You can go to justgetflux.com. You can put these apps, it's completely free. Iris might cost you between $2 and $8 for a permanent license, and it's super simple to toggle between these. It keeps the blue lighting off the screen. Incandescent light. So this is the light that I will use other than this red light. This is an incandescent light. So you'll notice there's no overhead lights here, none. So the only lighting that I'm going to have in my office is this. This is a light from Sauna Space. Happens to be red, and it's an incandescent, so it gets hot. It does not flicker. And it provides the appropriate type of light when I'm sitting here in front of my desk. I get that light, and I get this light right here. That combined with the filter on my screen and the natural light here from the open window is what's going to give me the ultimate biohacked, the ultimate healthy, the ultimate safe workplace when it comes to lighting strategy. I highly, highly recommend everybody at least use these screen filters, at least get in front of natural light, open the windows whenever possible, and if at all possible, get rid of overhead lighting that's made from LED or compact fluorescent and get incandescent if you have to have lights on during the day. After dark, I recommend highly that you use some red lights. Makes a huge difference. Finally, if you just can't get into a room with all this natural light, with the appropriate type of lighting, and you're on these devices, you're under the wrong lights overhead, maybe you've got your office in your basement, you didn't know some of these things, get yourself a pair of blue light blocking glasses. You can see the blue reflecting right off of these. These are for the day. You don't want to block all blue light during the day. Some is very beneficial and you need it, especially when you're out in the sunlight. When we're indoors, we get too much of it without the red and without the infrared, which is the antidote to too much blue. These are daytime blue light blockers. They allow some blue through, but not all of it. Some of that blue light during the day can cause free radical damage to your eyes. They can cause eye strain, fatigue, dry eyes, all sorts of other things that you're not noticing. Even if you don't notice, we're creating some free radicals in there, which can cause damage later on. You're just going to put these on. You can see they're reflecting some of that blue, and you're going to work with these daytime blue light blocking glasses. Then you're going to get outside as often as you can during the day to get natural light in your eyes. Now, suppose you have to work at night after dark and you don't have the right type of lighting overhead yet. You don't have red lights all over your house like we do. Just get a pair of nighttime blue light blocking glasses. This is what these look like. These block 100% all the blue light. When we see blue light after dark, you can Google my name, Thaddeus Owen, into YouTube and TEDx. I did a TEDx talk on blue light blocking glasses and the benefits of using them at night and the damage that seeing blue through your eyes after sunset damages your sleep and makes a huge impact on your health. Please watch that YouTube video. It's on the TEDx channel if you want to learn more about that. Otherwise, just grab yourself a pair of blue light blocking glasses. You can work on your laptop, you can use the overhead lights, and now you're not going to harm your sleep and ultimately your health. Super easy, super simple strategies. Just look up blue light blocking glasses, get a pair for night that block all the blue light, 100% of blue light after dark, and you're all set. You can find them on Amazon. Of course, you can find them on our store, but you can find them anywhere. Get a cheap pair. They're even $1, literally $1 on Amazon. They don't look great, but you can try them out and see how they work for you before you decide to buy a pair that looks a little nicer. We'd be remiss if we didn't talk about movement. You can see my desk. So here's my hand on my desk. I'm standing right now. So this is a standing height desk, and it does, I'll show you, have a little crank. So if I want to lower it, I could totally crank it down. I'm probably never going to do that. So what I do is I think, just like we've heard over and over again, sitting is the new smoking, right? So standing is the new sitting. Everyone gets these standing desks and they stand here all day long. That's also not great. You want to move between sitting and standing. So here is my stool height chair. So the cool thing about this is I get to go and I get to sit. Here's me sitting in my chair. I turn around. Whoop. I'm staring at my desk. I've got everything right in front of me. This is perfect. Then I get out of my chair and I just stand up and I type because that desk is at the exact right height for me to both sit and stand at that same desk. Intermittent movement is what is critical. You don't have to work out super hard to be optimally healthy, but you do have to get slow and deliberate movement often as you can. Some people will put a treadmill under their desk. Honestly, everyone, I tried that. I couldn't make it work for me. I'm super big into health and movement and longevity. I could not make that work. If it works for you, put a treadmill under your desk. And here you are doing your meetings and typing. I found I couldn't focus so well doing that. Now here's another thing. Let's come on underneath my desk. This is really cool. So here's a topographical map. So not a map, but a mat. So I don't stand just on flat floor all the time. Nature was never designed to have a stand on just a flat floor. So I stand on this mat. It's got a bunch of different topographical features. And then you can see here these little spikes. This is a sleep induction mat or an acupressure mat, however you want to think about it. And you can literally just put your feet right on here. It might hurt at first, the first time you try it, but literally I can jump on this and it's not going to cause any harm. Your feet will totally get used to this. So this is an acupressure mat. It helps toughen your feet for the summer, which I think is great, but it hits all the acupressure points on your feet and can really, really help you if you're going to be standing/sitting at your desk all day. All right, one very important thing we still have to talk about that we haven't done. Check out all these wires. Kind of sucks to have everything wired, doesn't it? Like we want to get away from wires and have everything wireless, cable management. All this stuff is a huge pain. Guess what? These wires are protecting my health like you would not believe. Wi-Fi, wireless, Bluetooth, cell phone signals, all of these things are, guess what? damaging for our health. And if you're going to swim in Wi-Fi and these cell signals all day long, it's not great. There are 5,500 peer-reviewed, published scientific papers about the damaging effects of electromagnetic frequencies like those from cell phones, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth. So I chose to rewire everything. I'm just going to show you a few things here. This is my laptop. It's wired. It's faster. What most people don't know is cell phone towers are hardwired. They're not wireless. Yes, they send a wireless signal directly to your phone. The closest signal to you gets to your phone. But then from the cell tower to the next cell tower where it's going to ping the other person's phone that you're calling, it's wired. Under the ground, under the ocean, all of those run through wires. Why? It's faster. It's not all wireless, folks. That's something that I want you to know. And you can do it at home. Not only will it be faster, but it's way healthier and safer for you and your family. So let me just show you a few things here. I have Skype calling on here. So I pick up my headset. I put my headset on and I run my phone calls off Skype off my wired laptop. Then my cell phone is wired into this guy. So this is just a brand that I found works really, really well for Android. It's called Uni, U-N-I. And this plugs into the power outlet of my Pixel Google phone. And then it is hard connected to the landline. I get every single feature of that phone, text, data, you name it. I cannot make phone calls on it, which is why I use that on my laptop. So I make my phone calls with my laptop hardwired. My Wi-Fi is permanently disabled. And everything else that my cell phone can do, I do that on my wired cell phone. Yes, I can take it out of that mode and I can just put it on cellular service and make a phone call if I wish, if you don't have it set up for your laptop. But you do not need to have Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and cellular data on that phone. Those are all different antennas, microwave emitting antennas on your phone, when everyone else is probably at your home as well, if you have kids, using that Wi-Fi and data. And that creates a drain on your Wi-Fi. It makes it really slow, but it can also harm your health. So wired, so much faster. You can be streaming Netflix and you can still be doing your work and getting data on your cell phone. Totally fine. So what I want to show you is down here. This looks like a complete mess, but there's a little router and all of my LAN cords run in the back of that router and they run right under here so that Heidi, my partner, she gets to wire her telephone and she gets to have her standing desk, of course, and wire her laptop up there just like I get to do. I think that's really important. Okay, so we are also talking about getting movement. So movement doesn't just happen sitting to standing. You really would benefit from getting outdoors at lunchtime, before work starts, and after work to take a walk. Honestly, when people are here at home, you're not walking to meetings. You're not walking to the bathroom. You're not walking from your car through the parking lot to work. You're not walking to a coworker's desk. You're not walking to the cafe or outdoors to grab food. You're really contained in this really tiny environment. So you're getting probably far fewer steps in. Get as many walks in as you can. Take walking meetings, take your cell phone, put in some earbuds, stick your cell phone in a purse or a backpack, and then walk and do your walking meetings on your cell phone or make some phone calls when you're doing that while walking. Can make a huge, huge difference. And finally, if you can do it, I'm going to show you out here through this window. Maybe you can see that table out there. So that is an outdoor workspace. My landlines reach right out there through this window, and I set up an outdoor workspace when it's not 26 degrees out, and I will work from outdoors, and that way I can get sun to get a little bit of vitamin D, and I can move it right under that tree for shade. So there's the tree out there, and so I can easily get shade, I can get sun right under that pine tree, and that works great so that I don't have to be indoors all the time. The air is cleaner, and the United States Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, says indoor air can be 96% dirtier than outdoor air. So get outside as often as possible, get some intermittent movement, have a routine, get the lighting correct in your office, hardwire all of your devices if you are able to, intermittent movement of sitting and standing, wear some pants, and dress for success. Get yourself in the mindset for work. It can be very distracting. So here's the other thing. Behind me is where the kids are going to work when they do their schoolwork from home. This is our office here, and when we're in here, we're doing work. It creates a mindset to have a work space. When you get there, your mindset goes to, I am going to sit down and get some work done, versus sitting at the kitchen table, oh, and then I've got to do some dishes and some laundry. I'm going to sweep the floor. So having a set and dedicated workspace, whatever it is. Now, we're fortunate enough to have this office. You may designate your table away from other distractions potentially, or your bedroom or somewhere else. Honestly, I don't recommend your bedroom, but find a dedicated space, devote it to where you set up and do your work every day. And honestly, try to get a dedicated space outdoors as well, so you can transition between those two. I hope you all found this very useful. You can find my contact information through thepointsretreat.com. You can message us. You can find us at PrimalHacker.com. Let us know what your questions are. We have tons of blog articles and Instagram posts describing some of these work from home strategies. Get busy, get your things done. This is an amazing opportunity that allows you to take more control over your environment, which allows you to better control your biology and your health. Until next time, everybody, this is Thaddeus.